Not a problem. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Lifesavers Planning Committee, welcome to the Lifesavers Public Service Awards Luncheon. I'm Lee Axtell. I'm the Director of Highway Safety for the state of South Dakota. Lifesavers wouldn't be possible without the financial support of our sponsors, and they're seated at the front tables up front, and they're also listed on the screens. If you could give them a round of applause for their financial support. And there's one more big thank you that we need to recognize at conferences such as this. If we could recognize the currently serving and former military personnel in the crowd, if you would stand up. Thanks to all of you for your service. Following lunch, we're going to be hearing from NHTSA's Executive Director, Jack Danielson, and the Director of Governmental Affairs, Policy, and Strategic Planning, Brian Bernard. In the meantime, enjoy your lunch. Okay. I'm going to put this here for now so it doesn't fall on the floor. Okay. Well, thanks everyone again for coming to this awards luncheon. Jack Danielson serves as the Executive Director of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, also known to us as NHTSA. He oversees the agency's daily operations, internal management, and mission support programs, and Jack provides executive direction over the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Information Officer, and NHTSA's 8 associate administrators. In his capacity, Mr. Danielson serves as the agency's senior career official, supporting the NHTSA administrator in providing leadership and establishing direction on policies, budgets, and the strategic priorities of a multifaceted organization with a budget of $911 million and over 600 employees across the country. For most of 2017, Mr. Danielson served as NHTSA's acting deputy administrator, where he provided overall leadership in the execution of NHTSA's safety mission of promoting vehicle safety innovations, rooting out vehicle defects, setting safety standards for cars and trucks, and educating Americans to help them drive, ride, and walk safely on a daily basis. Mr. Danielson began his federal career 2 decades ago as an active duty service member in the U.S. Army, serving in both Operation Joint Endeavor and Operation Joint Forge in Bosnia. Following his military service, he joined the policy staff of U.S. Congressman Jim Oberstar, his home district congressman, and the ranking member of the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. Over the course of the next 15 years, Jack served in policy and management positions in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, developing policy initiatives and legislation and overseeing office budgets, staff, and field offices. Jack has the background, sense of purpose, and the desire to get things done for all of us. So without further delay, let's hear from NHTSA Executive Director Jack Danielson.
All right, good afternoon, Lifesavers. Thank you, Lee, for your kind introduction. It's a pleasure to be with you and the highway safety community as we honor the 2018 Public Safety Awardees. Transportation Secretary Elaine L. Chow and NHTSA Deputy Administrator Heidi King asked that I pass along their congratulations and good wishes. They both wish to convey their deep admiration to all of you who share their commitment to saving lives. Now that everyone has had a nice big lunch, I know you'll want nothing more than to settle in for an exciting PowerPoint presentation of statistics. I promise to do my best to keep these numbers interesting. There we go. Over the past 3 decades, the rate of roadway fatalities has dropped by 2/3. The red line that you see on your screen represents a remarkable achievement, and many of the lives saved over this period can be credited to the efforts of people in this room and others just like you across the country. An African proverb says, "To go fast, go alone. To go far, go together." We should take a moment to appreciate just how far we've come. It's for that reason that we've gathered today to recognize the hard work and outstanding achievements of the 2018 Public Safety Awardees. The people we honor today include courageous police officers and other first responders who risk their lives every day to protect ours. passionate safety advocates who transformed their own personal tragedies into public good, dedicated judges and public safety officials who have worked tirelessly to keep dangerous drivers off the road, and many other lifesavers whose commitment to safety has made a real difference for their neighborhoods, their communities, and our nation. Our long-term progress is commendable. Still, we must acknowledge that the most recent numbers don't paint a pretty picture. Statistically speaking, the single most dangerous activity average Americans engage in on a daily basis is the simple act of getting behind the wheel of their car. In 2016, 37,461 people lost their lives on our nation's roads. That was a 5.6% increase over 2015, which was an 8.4% increase over 2014. These numbers represent a dangerous and intolerable trend. The fatality increase was not limited to just one crash type. Increases occurred across the board, including passenger vehicle occupants, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, alcohol-impaired drivers, and pedestrians. These numbers remind us why we must continue to work together to build awareness, to research innovative countermeasures, and continuously improve enforcement and judicial approaches to make our roads safer. Let's take a closer look at the crashes involving pedestrians. There we go. In 2016, pedestrian fatalities rose a disturbing 9% to 5,987 lives lost, its highest number in nearly 30 years. When you break out the data, certain risk factors emerge. As you can see from the first two pie charts, 72% of pedestrian fatalities occurred outside of intersections, and 75% occurred after dark. Those statistics suggest that people are losing their lives in situations where pedestrians crossing the road are harder to predict and harder to see. Now let's couple that with one other statistic. Sending or reading a text from behind the wheel takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's like driving the length of a football field with your eyes closed. We must help people remember that the ordinary, everyday choices we make, like reading a text message, are not benign at highway speeds. And with smartphones now a seamless part of our lives, we often pick them up and look at them reflexively, without thinking. The risks associated with our seemingly insignificant choices are magnified when we make them from behind the wheel. Our challenge is to help others recognize the risks of these behaviors. So, as people gather together and dedicated to saving lives and preventing crashes, what can we do? Well, this question reminded me of a quote about time travel that my wife shared with me a couple weeks ago. I think thinking about time travel is fun. As inhabitants of this universe, we seem to be able to move through three-dimensional space in different directions and at different speeds. But when it comes to time, we all seem stuck in just one direction and at just one speed. So I'll put the quote up, and I'll give you a minute to read it. And for the record, I don't know who I'm sorry, I went too far. There we go. I don't know who the author of this quote is, so I'm just giving attribution to where my wife found it, the internet. And for those of you who might have trouble seeing the screen, let me read it. When people talk about traveling to the past, they worry about radically changing the present by doing something small. But barely anyone in the present really thinks they can radically change the future by doing something small. The idea that each of us can have a radical impact on the future is exciting to think about. It's empowering It's also a little scary. After all, the pivotal moments and choices we make are mostly unknown to us in the here and now. Fortunately or unfortunately, our lack of awareness does nothing to make our choices any less consequential. The knowledge, the knowing of our potential to shape the future gives us a power and a duty to look out for one another, to offer help where we can, and for so many in this room, a duty to save lives. In our personal lives, we may encourage our friends and family to ask themselves, which of our ordinary, everyday choices will have a radical impact on the future? Is it the choice to buckle up? Is it the choice to call a friend or a taxi when drinking? Is it the choice to resist the reflex to look at an incoming text from behind the wheel? For 3/4 of pedestrians who lost their lives outside of intersections or in the dark, that choice could make all the difference in the world. For all of us gathered in this room, we should ask what choices we can make in our professional lives that could move the needle and turn the fatality trend around. What action, what effort can help persuade those around us to make safer choices? At NHTSA, we are working to do just that. For example, Deputy Administrator Heidi King has made tackling the challenge of impaired driving a top priority. Recently, she convened a summit of experts and stakeholders to explore the prevalence, detection, and effective countermeasures to drug-impaired driving. That event kicked off a series of efforts to explore best practices for educating the public on overall risk of impaired driving, collecting consistent data, testing and measuring driver impairment levels, enforcing impaired driving laws. I hope all of you will consider contributing to these discussions. In addition, last September, DOT and NHTSA released its new federal guidance for automated driving systems, a vision for safety 2.0. This guidance encourages industry best practices and prioritizes safety as new advanced technologies are deployed into the fleet. Thank you to everyone who provided comments to this document, and we look forward to continuing the dialogue in this important area. Finally, I'm compelled to mention the Takata recall. Tens of millions of vehicles with Takata airbags are under recall. Long-term exposure to high heat and humidity can cause these airbags to explode when deployed, which makes these inflators especially dangerous in states such as Texas. Of particular concern are Takata inflators in model year 2006 Ford Ranger and Mazda B Series trucks. Earlier this year, Ford and Mazda announced special do not drive recalls for these vehicles. Affected owners are urged not to drive these vehicles and to contact their local dealer immediately to schedule a free repair. Ford and Mazda have replacement airbags available now, and they will tow vehicles to a local dealership for repair and provide a loaner vehicle, all free of charge. We desperately need your help to get the word out. Please encourage your friends and family to check their vehicles for outstanding recalls at NHTSA.gov. It may seem like a small thing to do, but it might truly make a world of difference to someone. Today, we're gathered to recognize individuals who went big and made a radical difference in advancing safety on our nation's roads, the 2018 Public Safety Awardees. The stories you will hear today are of ordinary people inspired to make extraordinary contributions. Today's honorees, through hard work and uncommon sacrifice, have made a profound impression upon both our present and our future. Their achievement gives us reason to celebrate and gives us hope. Hope that our actions today will reverse the trend line and create a better tomorrow. Hope for a world where no one needs lose their life because someone chose to speed or to drive drunk or to send a text from behind the wheel. And I have hope we will all see each other there in the not too distant future. Thank you for your life-saving efforts and for asking me to join you today. And now, I would like to call to the podium Brian Barnard, Director of Policy, Government Affairs, and Strategic Planning at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, who will present the 2018 Public Service Awards. Thank you.
Patrick Moody. Mr. Patrick Moody is a traffic safety champion in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. He is an active member of the Strategic Highway Safety Planning Committees in each of these states, and recently worked in opposition to a bill to increase speed limits in Maine and 4 bills in New Hampshire that would have repealed distracted driving laws. He was instrumental in passing Maine's first primary seatbelt law and later led a successful effort to fight a repeal of this law. Since the passage of this law, Maine's belt use rate has increased from 80% to 88.9%. AAA, along with its New Hampshire partners, produced an award-winning Slow Down, Move Over PSA that was recognized by the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters Award for Public Service Announcement of the Year. When AAA took on the issue of substance-impaired driving, Mr. Moody led the charge. He hosted the first state policy summit on impaired driving in New Hampshire and has held 6 more summits in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, which have led to advancements in the Drug Recognition Expert, or DRE, programs in opposition to a recreational use marijuana bill in Vermont. Congratulations. Ben Lieberman. Mr. Ben Lieberman has been a staunch opponent of distracted driving since he lost his 19-year-old son, Evan, in a crash caused by a distracted driver in 2011. He is leading the fight to change New York's laws to allow police to use technology at the scene of a crash to determine if the collision was related to distracted driving. Ben is also working with local police agencies and safety organizations throughout the state to implement victim impact panels for those convicted of serious distracted driving offenses. Ben's efforts have been highlighted by the media, resulting in increased awareness of the distracted driving problem. His tireless advocacy for distracted driving education and enforcement has led to a number of positive changes, including key political endorsements of Evans Law, meant to strengthen New York's distracted driving laws, creation of a statewide public information and education campaign on the dangers of distracted driving, and establishment of tech stops on our highways. Congratulations. Amy Carney. Since 2008, Captain Amy Carney has been touching the lives of young adults through her dedication to and passion for delivering the Every 15 Minutes program at high schools throughout Carroll County, Maryland. The program began as a volunteer assignment and has grown exponentially due to Captain Carney's commitment. Captain Carney is the only certified instructor in the county and has delivered the program to more than 3,700 students and 400 parents. As a volunteer, EMS, and fire supervisor, she is affected every day by the tragic events relating to motor vehicle crashes and the dangers of impaired, distracted, and aggressive driving, as well as the non-use of seatbelts and child restraints. This program addresses all of these issues, and we salute her for her personal commitment to making a difference in so many lives. Congratulations. Arlinda Page. For the past 27 years, Senior Police Officer Arlinda Page has worked tirelessly to make our nation's capital one of the safest places to drive and walk. From the moment she became a police officer, she has been passionate about highway safety. She is trained in DWI detection, standardized field sobriety testing, traffic occupant protection strategies, and as a child passenger safety technician. Arlinda has taught more than 60 courses over her career. She has trained approximately 1,500 individuals, and with the addition of car seat safety checks, she has touched thousands more lives. Arlinda focuses on educating citizens and officers in overall roadway safety, increasing awareness of the dangers of distracted and impaired driving, and child passenger and recreational safety for children. Arlinda recently experienced a verified child passenger safety save of 2 toddlers. Arlinda helped to install the children's car seats just 2 weeks prior to the family's vehicle being totaled. Despite the tremendous damage to the vehicle, the children suffered no injuries. Congratulations. Captain Leroy Smith. Captain Smith became a certified child passenger safety technician with the Saraland Police Department in 2003, and he found the work so rewarding that he became a certified instructor in 2006. He has been the Southwest Alabama Regional Highway Safety Office's go-to child passenger safety expert for 14 years. Captain Smith has coordinated numerous media events and has broken the state record for child restraint seats at an event. He has dedicated himself to making sure children are safely buckled up, and he genuinely cares about each child that crosses his path. Captain Smith volunteers countless hours on weekends and days off to attend events to make sure car seats are installed properly. Captain Smith continues to participate in training and public lectures. His knowledge and expertise in child passenger safety is recognized not only in Alabama, but throughout its neighboring states. Congratulations. Judge Phyllis McMillan. The Honorable Phyllis McMillan is a tireless advocate for traffic safety. She is the American Bar Association Regional Judicial Outreach Liaison for NHTSA Region 5 and is nationally known for her expertise and efforts in traffic safety, particularly in fighting drug and alcohol-impaired driving. She is regularly invited to make presentations to share her knowledge, as well as motivate and inspire others. While she is known as an expert nationally, it is not unusual for Judge McMillan to roll up her sleeves and provide guidance and encouragement to people participating in local sobriety courts to ensure their long-term success. She has been instrumental in influencing state leadership to implement evidence-based programs such as DUI courts and state judicial outreach liaisons within NHTSA Region 5 and nationwide. Judge McMillan is a triple threat. She has exceptional knowledge, a contagious can-do attitude, and unparalleled passion. Congratulations. Mr. George and Mrs. Marilyn Murphy. On a beautiful July 4th afternoon in 1984, just blocks from Murphy's home in South Jacksonville, Illinois, George and Marilyn Murphy's daughter, Kelly Murphy Wheatley, was struck and killed by a drunk driver as she stood along the roadside with her husband and young son. She was just 24 years old and left behind a husband, a 14-month-old son, a brother, and a devastated mom and dad, who questioned how a repeat offender with 3 previous DUI arrests was again driving impaired with a driver's license. The Murphys were told justice was served after the man responsible for killing their daughter spent only 7 months in prison. These 2 remarkable individuals are longtime volunteers who have honored their daughter Kelly's memory through lobbying for legislation, advocating for victims, and raising awareness in any way possible. The Murphys co-founded and led MAD Morgan County, the oldest active MAD chapter in Illinois. Their efforts helped in successfully lowering the illegal BAC level to .08, and strengthening Illinois' dram shop law. Since the passage of .08 in Illinois, the number of drunk driving deaths has decreased by 40%. Congratulations. Michael C. Thompson. While serving as Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, Mike Thompson was instrumental in the passing of several laws to include primary seatbelt legislation, the Oklahoma Child Passenger Safety Law, requiring children under 2 to ride in a rear-facing car seat, and in a car seat or booster seat until the age of 8, and then the ban on texting while driving. Commissioner Thompson played a pivotal role in the launching of NDUI Oklahoma, which is a prevention, education, and enforcement initiative that has led to a comprehensive approach to reducing impaired driving. This initiative has led to a reduction in impaired driving fatalities and crashes and increased awareness of the dangers of DUI throughout the state. Mike Thompson is a leader who has promoted teamwork between state agencies, law enforcement at all levels, nonprofit organizations to protect the citizens of Oklahoma. Commissioner Thompson, now Major General Thompson, will always have the safety and security of Oklahomans as his priority. Accepting on his behalf is Oklahoma Highway Safety Director Paul Harris. Congratulations. Anita Boatman. Anita has spent 37 years of service to the field of traffic safety and is a dedicated member of the Arkansas Traffic Records Coordinating Committee, or TRCC. She was instrumental in improving driver record timeliness and accuracy by partnering with the Administrative Office of the Courts, AOC, to develop a system that allows all courts direct access to driver records and that automatically updates records upon conviction. Anita is also responsible for developing, implementing, and improving several other records programs, including one requiring driver services to create and maintain a database for drug and alcohol test results for commercial drivers. Lastly, she was instrumental in revising Arkansas's 2017 Ignition Interlock Bill language to put the state back into compliance with Section 164. Legislators utilized her briefing paper and updated the legislation accordingly. Congratulations. Chief Joe Ingraham. Under Chief Joe Ingraham's leadership, the Sober 24 program in Reno, Nevada is an innovative initiative that combines a 24/7 monitoring program in which participants submit to drug and alcohol testing with wraparound support services, including outpatient recovery, mental health counseling, educational courses, job training, and case management services. The goal of Sober 24 is to combat alcohol and drug abuse and reduce the role they play in crime and criminal recidivism, especially for drunk and drugged driving. This program seeks to reduce the number of DUIs and related costs by motivating offenders to change their behavior. Since January 2017, approximately 34,000 drug and alcohol tests have been administered with a compliance rate of 99%. State data show that Washoe County is currently experiencing a 70% year-over-year reduction in alcohol-involved fatalities, and Sober 24 has played a vital role in achieving this reduction. Congratulations. Jennifer Harmon. Jennifer Harmon for the nationally recognized Orange County Crime Lab, OCCL, in Santa Ana, California. Under her direction, Ms. Harmon's teams have developed several new drug testing methods. Her office provides prosecutors with quantified levels of chemical tests on 72 different chemical compounds. Using specialized equipment and this new methodology shorten the sample preparation and data analysis time for multiple analytical methods. One of the new methods analyzed twice as many samples and reduced testing time by 66%, and also detected drugs at lower levels than previous instruments and methods. Thus, the laboratory has doubled the number of analyses performed on a yearly basis without an increase in staffing. The Orange County Crime Lab also records blood levels of various prescription drugs and marijuana and cross-references the levels with the investigative reports that describe the driver's behaviors. The data collection and research conducted at Orange County Crime Lab is like no other in the nation. Congratulations. Gina Benavides, Lavera Wade, and Tina Meyer. In July 2016, Gina Benavides' sister, Jody, and her best friend, Elizabeth Rudolph, were stopped in congested traffic on southbound I-5. A young woman rear-ended them traveling at 76 miles per hour, and Jody was tragically killed. There was no evidence that the driver tried to avoid the crash by braking or swerving. The young woman admitted that her husband, who was beside her in the passenger seat, was taking a selfie of them right before the crash. Lavera Wade's grandson, Sam Thompson, died in September 2014 when he was texting while driving, crossed the center line, and hit an oncoming vehicle. The crash occurred just days before his 21st birthday. And Tina Meyer began advocating for distracted driving prevention after her son Cody was struck by a driver who was looking at his cell phone. Cody was directing traffic in a construction zone in December 2015 when the crash occurred. Cody died 6 months later. Despite their grief and anguish, these women have dedicated countless hours to the work of strengthening Washington's distracted driving laws. This meant time off work, traveling to meet with legislators, testifying at hearings, and making themselves available for media interviews to keep the proposed legislation in the news. Gina, Lavera, and Tina formed a powerful threesome, and although there were many moments of doubt during the 2017 session, all three kept up a full court press. The stronger bill passed both houses of the Washington legislature and was signed into law on May 16, 2017. Congratulations. Dale Stockton. Mr. Dale Stockton, the Executive Director of Below 100, has volunteered countless hours to eliminate preventable line-of-duty enforcement deaths and injuries. Below 100 is a grassroots effort, an initiative conceived by Dale that aims to reduce line-of-duty law enforcement deaths to below 100, a number not seen since 1943. The mission of the Below 100 is training to influence law enforcement culture by providing innovative training and awareness through presentations and social media, with the goal of identifying the leading causes and current trends in preventable line-of-duty deaths and injuries. The mission, through Dale's relentless efforts, Below 100 has been offered to law enforcement officers nationwide in 32 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico over the last 7 years. For the past 3 consecutive years, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund has recognized agencies for their implementation of Below 100. Dale's expertise, leadership, dedication, and tireless perseverance have been the linchpin to the program's success. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of the awardees. I believe we now will return to Lee.
Well, thank you, Brian, and thank you, Jack, and thanks to all of you for everything you do for highway safety in the United States. Thanks also to our sponsors again, great folks who help us out financially, and thanks to all of the volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteers to put on something like this, and we appreciate it more than you'll ever know. The volunteers for this event will be meeting on the second floor, just down from the escalator, for a photo after this luncheon. And one more final detail. As you likely know, there's a big celebration in town. We've got a big celebration tonight down by the Riverwalk. This building is going to be closed at 5 p.m. If you've got reason to be here after 5 p.m., that's fine. Just make sure you have your badge on, or you're going to be locked out. All right? No exceptions. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon and a great night.